My top bar hive, I think, sent out a secondary swarm. I wasn't here when it started, so I'm not sure which hive the swarm came from, but I think it was my top bar hive. And they've landed in the same spot that the other top bar hives landed in. And this is much harder to collect because you see the bees are inside the camellia bush. Here they are, all inside the camellia bush. And with one person, I'm not going to be able to use the loppers that are the thickness that I would need to cut the branch. Not to mention the fact that they're on several branches. So I'm going to start by trying to get them to come onto some frames. I put a collection box right here with all frames in it, but they're showing no interest. So I'm going to try being more manipulative about it. I can try to shake them, but I don't know how much good that's going to do. Maybe I'll cut some branches off first and clear the pathway to shake it. I think that's what I'll do, is cut some branches off first. The good news is I'm not a homeowner who cares about plants that are not native, which I'm pretty sure the camellia is not, and I am much rather have a clear path to get this swarm. I have a sheet spread under the swarm, and I have a collection box right there. It has some frames in it that have foundation, and we all know how much I don't like foundation, but it will be tempting for the bees nonetheless. It looks to me now like the swarm is centered over the collection box, and I'm going to shake from a major branch inside here. I'll pull this forward just a little bit because I think that's the way the bees are going to go. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. I hope the queen got in there. There sure are a lot of bees all over the place. So I'm going to spray them with some sugar water in hopes that that will make them want to have something to do. And then I'm going to take the top and put it on with it open over here. So we'll see what happens. Now the bees will be tempted to come back here, especially if the queen didn't go. If she did go, they'd come back here for the queen pheromone, because that's what they've been surrounding themselves around, the queen pheromone. So let's just see what happens. But that frame I've put in there gives them a ladder to go straight into the hive if the queen is in there. And see how they're behaving right here. They're going over the edge and down, and they might be comfortable that the queen is in here. So we'll see. Here they go. And we'll let them keep collecting on that frame and then put the frame inside the box. Now you can see how it's calmed down some. One of the advantages of this, where the queen picked to land, is it's so close to the original hive. It's maybe 20 feet from the original hive, if that. It means that if we leave bees behind, which we will leave some, you always do, they can go back home if they are inclined. For a minute there, they got really frantic, and I don't know if the queen flew back to this spot. I don't see her. They're doing a pretty good job, though, of going into the hive butler. This is a secondary swarm, as I think it is. Having a virgin queen is not as attractive as having the queen mother, because she doesn't have as strong a pheromone. Look at that, they're all leaving the box and going back. There are a whole lot of bees on the side of the box. I don't know what that's about, and want to see them going up and going into the hive. You can see some of them are. So let's hope that they all do. They don't seem particularly like they love this box. It's like the whole swarm has just decided to hang on the outside of the box. I don't think I can collect this. It's so interesting that they just don't want to go in the box. Again, the question is, are they going in or are they going out? So this odd little swarm refused to go into the box. Two boxes, tried two different boxes. It wouldn't go into either one of them, but it has persisted in gathering on the outside and somewhat on the inside of this box. So I'm going to try something different. I'm going to literally pick the box up and carry it as it is over to a setup hive on the complete other side of my bee yard, where there's a ramp set up, and we'll just see if they want to walk into the hive or not. They probably don't, but I've given up on collecting them per se because it just isn't working. So we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to move very slowly and bring the box over here and just dump it on the ramp. I'll put a piece of old comb on the ramp, and I'm going to stuff this hole with a hive drape. I don't know if that'll make any difference, but I'm going to do it. Honey, leave that alone. My dog is so curious. Okay, now I'm going to try. Here I go. So far they're carrying just fine. They're not all flying up off of the swarm. They're just staying put. I'm going to put them down right on the ramp and we'll see what happens. So a few of them are exploring. That's an old inner cover, so it smells like a beehive. And it might be that just the very fact that it's there will make them want to go into the hive. We'll see. Some of them are certainly interested in it. At worst, they fly off and hang somewhere else. I could just put the whole box right on top of the hive and see what happens. I'll put the whole box just right on top of the hive. Take off this, take off the inner cover, and set the whole box on top of the hive. Now that's generating some interest. Look at there. Look at there. Maybe they're going to go in. It's an old hive full of drawn comb. 2 boxes of really good drawn comb. And maybe they'll be happy to live here. It's completely on the opposite side of the yard from the mother hive that they came from. Well, they certainly are exploring the idea. Look at there. What do you know? I think they might just move in. I really wanted to take this hive to the school, but they can't do it now. They just weren't up for being collected. These are independent little bees. They had a mind of their own. There does look like there's some enthusiasm, though. Here's a hive. Nobody's in it. It could be your home. Free rent. All I ask is that you move in. Maybe give me honey next year. Maybe 1 frame this year. But that's counting my chickens, isn't it? Because they haven't moved in yet. Alright, I'm going to go look for an entrance producer. Still can't tell if they're moving in or what they're doing. A hive drape would be a good idea. The bees literally went down in here and found it wanting, so they're not going to go in. This is much bigger than it was before I went inside for dinner. So they've come back out of the hive. They're not going in the hive. They're going to find somewhere else to live. So this morning I just unceremoniously dumped them into the hive they were sitting on. And I don't know if they'll stay or if they'll come out and swarm away, which more power to them any way they do it. It does have a door. There are some bees going in the front door, so we'll see. I didn't leave the top open like I would normally do when I have a swarm, because they were hanging on a newt box sitting on top of the hive, on top of the frames, and I didn't want to recreate that situation. So they'll either all come out and cluster here and then leave, or they'll move in. And this has been the wonkiest swarm I've ever had to deal with. So I don't know.